Hi, good afternoon. Good morning. And thanks so much to NASCASP and to Department of Energy for allowing us to join in on this session. I'm Catherine Maddox, and I'm Project Director for Energy Partnerships at the National Community Action Partnership, and wanted to be able to share some of our tools and resources for you. Make sure you're able to access those and find out more about them. So looking here at our first slide, just want to make sure you know about our project overall. We are the Leveraged Partnerships Project at the National Community Action Partnership, and we are funded by the Department of Energy to offer training and assistance to the WAP network in designing private partnerships and programs to leverage your weatherization dollars. So we can share more detail about that here. Examples of what we can do for you. We want to be able to support your creating or improving local and private partnerships. We can facilitate connections to experienced peers. You may have seen another session that we worked together on with NASCASP here at the conference related to leveraging your WAP dollars with housing dollars. So being able to connect you with those peers who are working in that space with housing would be one example. We can assist in your data collection, messaging, helping get those partnerships off the ground. We've a plethora of resources available on that, so we'd be happy to share those with you. Advocacy and research resources, tools and templates. Again, I know these are broad in general, but we would be able to go into detail with you on what some of those are, depending on the type of partnership you're looking into. If it's with the utility, if it's with the healthcare sector, if it's with the solar, looking into bringing more solar to low-income communities. Those are examples of the spaces that we're working in and how we can work with you. So please feel free to reach out further and we can talk in detail. Of course, trainings and webinars are also a regular part of what we offer. I just want to share data from our latest report with NASCASP about the leverage funding in the network. The WAP network administered over $1 billion in 2018 when you include the Weatherization Assistance Program funding, that core funding, along with LIHEAP funding, which a lot of folks leverage, along with those non-federal funds, which is what we're talking about here in this map, which totaled over $400 million. And I have the exact amount here. So I want to talk through this with you. You'll see here on this map, the areas that have white space is 0, and then all the way up through the shades of green up to dark green, that's where you've got over $50 million in leverage funding. And that's specifically there in Massachusetts at 100 and, let's see, that was, got the numbers here. Oh, 130 million, I have it right there on the screen for Massachusetts. So pretty astounding, and kudos to our partners there in Massachusetts. So just to go through this a little bit more. So in 2018, there was a documented nearly 408 million in coordination with DOE WAP funds. This included utility funds, which is collected from ratepayers, and that runs through the state office or directly to WAP subgrantees. That includes state funds collected through fees or taxes. It includes private funds working with the hospitals in your area, health insurance providers, foundations, and all of these non-federal funds, as we say, coordinated with WAP. And that means that leveraging $1.52 in non-federal funds for every $1 of DOE WAP. So pretty powerful there, that statistic. This amount excludes LIHEAP because we are looking at just non-federal. But when you think about LIHEAP as well, that was an additional $453 million in LIHEAP in addition to what we're speaking about here today. And you may know then, just a background on LIHEAP, if you're not aware, that states can transfer up to 15% of their LIHEAP allocation to weatherization, and with a waiver, they can transfer up to 25%. So some states are working on that access there. And we want to encourage you that even if you are leveraging some funding in your state, we imagine there's more out there that you could be accessing, and we really encourage you to be reaching out to utility partners, other partners, housing sector, as we mentioned. You can think of solar opportunities, ways that you can be maximizing those DOE dollars. We know more is out there. And particularly with utility funding, we know a lot of times those are administered separately from weatherization funding. So we really want to be ensuring that those are coordinated together, because that's only going to be greater impact for low-income communities and families. So as you think about reaching out to particularly utility partners, if you haven't already, we just wanted to share some program design considerations that you would be thinking about. And again, we can talk in more detail of these things if you'd like to give a call after this session. But again, eligibility and priority customers, that's going to be a key point that you want to consider in your design. What will the income eligibility be as we coordinate our funding stream with, say, the utility companies' funding that they have available? What is the service area for this funding? Will it just be the utilities customers, or will it include our service area? What will the audit needs be? How can we streamline that process? What will the criteria and value assigned to a measure or package be? What will the administrative or support rate be, or fee that you can charge? What measures will be covered by this utility funding that we're thinking about aligning? Who will monitor this funding, and how much will that, how often will that occur? What will be involved with the monitoring? So we have plenty of other state networks that are, have worked out a lot of these details, and we'd be happy again to connect you with them if you're not already coordinating in any of this spaces here. So again, please feel free to reach out. Again, another piece down there about expectations and responsibility for quality control and inspection. Again, who will be in charge of doing that quality control piece? So all considerations you might have. We want to share a few other resources we have available for you and things to consider. We're excited about this desk guide. This is something that we worked on with, it was a Robert Wood Johnson funded project with Synapse Energy and Regulatory Assistance Project. A report came out earlier this year. We can make sure you have a link to that bigger document, but we wanted to highlight in particular a section from that document that we're calling, say, a 101 that you could share for your WAP and LIHEAP staff. This could be at the state office level, it could be at your local level, anyone in the network that might be interested, but really this is just a great primer on how the energy sector works. So it goes through, what is the state of the grid currently? Who provides electricity and gas? Who pays for maintenance? Who has the oversight? Who participates in the decision making? So really a nice broad overview about the energy sector, and a great way for onboarding new staff, or as a good refresher for those of you who've been in this space for some time and can think through some of the logistics and processes there about the broader picture for the energy sector. And again, as a good background too, as you go to reach out to those utility partners and thinking about your leverage funding, it could be a good background for you prior to doing that as well. Another opportunity that we heard about recently and are happy to make sure to highlight here for you is a funding opportunity with HUD, Healthy Homes and WAP pilot projects. So we've shared this out through our e-news, and I know Department of Energy is aware of it and has been working on it with HUD. But just want to make sure you're, have it on the front of your mind, and that you apply if you're interested. So there's a funding opportunity out right now where HUD is looking to fund up to 5 demonstration projects in 5 communities across the country on partnering HUD Healthy Home lead hazard grantees with Weatherization Assistance Program grantees. So a great opportunity here with Healthy Homes. We're very excited about this. It will be $1 million per site for each of those communities. The funding application due date is November 9th, 2020. And we do have a link there to learn more about that opportunity. So if you would like to talk further about it, not that we have much expertise on HUD funding opportunities, but we'd be happy just to make sure you know who your local Healthy Homes grantee is if you don't know already. We'd be happy to connect you, make sure you've got their contact information, as that is on HUD's website. So best of luck to you all considering that. That is a key area, key priority we have at the National CAP, is really trying to seek out those health-related funds for weatherization. As we know, that is so critical for being able to serve more eligible households and provide, more whole house approaches when we are serving families, that we could really be bringing in those healthy homes measures. So we encourage you and are excited to see how that opportunity goes. A toolkit that we want to make sure you know about as we approach October here is one that we worked on. It's Energy Awareness Month Toolkit, and that can go alongside the NASCAS Weatherization Day Toolkit. You may have seen the webinar that we participated in with NASCAS and with NCAF. I think it was a couple weeks ago at this point. But this is additional content you can use throughout the month of October. It addresses Energy Awareness Month, Weatherization Day as well, content and memes that you can use all month long on energy burden, energy equity, COVID-19 related content, LIHEAP. You may know about Energy Efficiency Day on October 7th, and then WAC Day on October 30th. So we really hope this content is helpful. It may be new to you to be trying to put on virtual events, for instance, using Facebook Live. We have some good step-by-step directions there on using Facebook Live. Our comms team would also be happy to talk with you if you're interested. So just, if you're a little nervous, say, about doing a virtual event, we'd be happy to kind of walk you through that, as our team does participate in those pretty regularly. So also some content there on how to produce and edit videos. So feel free to take a look. If you have any questions, always reach out. So I think we'll go through a couple of additional resources you might be interested in. There is a nice piece we have on leveraging your WAP, why and how, and that just goes through, again, key pieces on why this is important to our network and some concrete ways on how you can do that. It's another recent webinar that we hosted was with the National Consumer Law Center. And hopefully some of those, for some of you, you're able to join in our conference as well in August, where we went through an in-depth, intensive session with National Consumer Law Center on advocacy before public utility commissions. So this was a shorter version that we had and is available on our website. But particularly now during COVID-19, we are seeing so much of that utility debt that's piling up for folks. And we know that the Weatherization Network can play a key role in sharing those stories with the commission, with the utility companies. And so we do have some great resources here for you on ways that you can be changing the shutoff and collection policy, and at the same time advocating for more efficiency funds while you're at it. So key feature there that we'd love for you to check out. Also, something related to healthy homes, as we just talked about with that funding opportunity. We have our colleagues in North Carolina who've been working in healthy homes now for some time. And they were able to walk us through a lot of those grants that they have, that they coordinate with WAP. And so there's a webinar there that we'd love to have you take a look at, and we'd be happy to talk through that with you, connect you with our colleagues there in North Carolina if you want to learn more. Is that funding was with Duke Energy, so a utility company that was providing funding for health-related measures, as well as with Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, a foundation there. So exciting work, and one example of healthy homes work taking place across the country. As I mentioned, the Weatherization Day kickoff webinar we just had a couple of weeks ago, so I hope you found that helpful, and that can help in your planning process as you think about October next month, and how we can be making sure to advocate during this time and celebrate all the great work that's taking place in the network. And also, for those of you interested in leveraging your WAP dollars with solar, we've heard and learned about a great project in Oregon that's taking place with the State Community Action Association there, along with one of the local weatherization subgrantees. And so just want to make sure that you know about it, and we'd be happy to connect you there as well. It's a model low-income solar program in Oregon. It's going to be October 6th at 3 o'clock Eastern. That's also where they're working with Cap Solar, who you may have heard about. And they're based out of New Jersey with Greater Bergen Community Action, and they would be happy to connect with you further if you're interested in funding solar in your area and figuring out how to do that. They have technical assistance to offer you and walk you through a lot of the resources that they're aware of. So with that, we would love to hear more from you on any of these points. Please be in touch. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and you can always reach out. And thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your conference. Take care. Bye-bye.